Welcome to Gamify, your channel for everything related to the gaming industry and the financial markets. And today we're going to have a very substantial deep dive for the gaming company CI Games from Poland. So this is going to be a stock analysis. This is not going to be fun. This is going to learn something. This is therefore it's going to be a lot with numbers, a lot of details, and no trailers for video games. So if you're able to bear this, then stay with me, and then we're going to have a very important video here in my opinion. So, all right, guys. So, CI Games. Let's continue. Here we go. So disclaimer, as always, so I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a YouTuber. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy anything you see in this video. So I don't take any responsibility for anything. And also disclaimer, I am invested in CI Games. So CI Games, independent global video games developer and publisher, 22 years of experience, so quite old actually. 11 million copies sold of their most popular series. Founded here in 2002. We have been creating globally recognized titles for close to 20 years. The fan-celebrated Sniper Ghost Rider franchise has sold over 13 million copies worldwide. I have to admit, they were giving this game out for very, very cheap. While the action RPG Lords of the Fallen 2014 version recently surpassed the 3 million mark. CI Games have operational studios in Warsaw, Barcelona, Bucharest, and the US, so that's very good. Shareholding structure, that's maybe interesting, because it's always good to see if you have a founder CEO, and they have a founder CEO, that's Marek Tymiński, so he's also active on X and Twitter, so writes always some gives you some updates about the company. And then there is a bigger fund, active ownership fund, Sika FIS SCS, that's a fund obviously in Luxembourg, and it's a little bit around 20%, I think was in the last report. And then other shareholders are 50%. So besides of the founder CEO, so that's always good, a founder CEO in my personal opinion. And then the fund with 20%, it means when this fund would get out of the stock, this could hurt, of course, the price of the stock. And then we have the other shareholders of 50%. So here again, a little reminder about their games. So Lord of the Fallen is now mostly positive. This is the new Lord of the Fallen from 2023. It had a highest value of player base of 43,000, but unfortunately, fortunately, they had a high follower base of 117,000. And I would say it's always a good sign if then the highest value of the player base is higher than the follower base. But here they also didn't achieve this. So developed by Hexworks, so that's an internal studio. Then Sniper Ghost Rider contracts also stands at very positive also all reviews considered, almost 10,000 reviews, that's good. Game is from 21, I have it too, I played it a little bit. I have to spend a bit more time to see how this game is. So you see that it's not a game that's pretty expensive at the moment, so you can grab it for a very cheap price. And even here online, over 700 people are online right now. Highest value on Steam was 7,000, follower base of 58,000. Tales of Iron, an indie title, by Oddbug Studio and published then by United label CI Games. Even now 219 people online here on Steam. Highest value of 1,500 and had a follow base of 32,000. So that's definitely a problem that there were only 32,000, and then the highest value was 20 times less. So United label, we come to this later also. What United label is now going to be fully part of CI Games, and they actually released a new title that's called Beyond Galaxy, and then also going to a new title is going to be Tales of Iron. This will be released, and then Elder Soul is also, for example, indie title by Beyond Galaxy Land. Did I say Beyond of Galaxy? No, it's Beyond Galaxy Land. So obviously with a high value of 80 people only playing this right now and a follower base of 3,500. That's also not that good. And the game has been released September 2024. And I have to admit, guys, that I was not aware that this game is out. So I recommend you check out the Steam store page. It actually looks like a pretty cool game. So this is the chart, as always, when we look at stocks, and if we consider for ourselves, for our own decisions, if a stock is interesting for us, we look first on the chart. This is the max chart. So this is really from 2020, from 22. This game comes from nothing, and then at one point it really made a nice jump up, and then it became serious. But then also, like, let's say that's 2012, 13 probably, had a little run up. Fell badly. This was probably also on the release of lots of the Fallen, of the old one. Then you see here's a strong support line. So here's a strong support line around there. We are not there yet. So there seems to be still room that we could fall back to this, even to this support line. So but since lots of the Fallen, the new one has been released, the downfall is pretty bad. So on 5 years, we can see here we have actually the date, on 5 years. So everything, we had 126, so one slotty, 26. I learned now it's not slotty, it's slotty or slot or something like this. So it's a downward trend, and the question is, when will it stop? So also the financial income statement with a quick overview on Google Finance, and you would say, oh, those numbers are incredible, but net profit margin 533 and minus 63% is not that good. But on the other hand, the revenue goes up and the net income actually went down. So this is lots of the Fallen came out in 2023, and therefore obviously the net income was going up. And then something that I like to look at, Fibonacci retracements, and I like to try to find some support lines. This is a mere technical view on a stock. And I think it's actually interesting. So I was drawing the Fibonacci retracement here. I started here with the bottom line. And if you look, it always works. It always works. Those people that are buying and selling stock, they always buy on those lines. So, and now here we broke through to the downside. So this here is absolutely possible. This is absolutely possible that we go back there. So, but on the other hand, we should not forget they have a back catalog, but it's like Ubisoft. So Ubisoft, everyone would say, they're never going to fall so much. They have so many games. They make so much money with the games. Yeah, but the more games you have, the bigger your company gets. And then actually the stock price can still fall. So what happened here is obviously a bubble. This is called a bubble, so you can see it. So until probably a bit under three zloty, it was okay. We were coming back to the old times from 2017. But obviously, what happened then from this point here? I already made videos back in the days. I was invested back in the days also, and then I was selling around about 4 zloty. So I sold too early. I could have run it up to 7 zloty. And then, in the end, I bought back in a little bit around about here and averaged down since then. Market cap, my friend. So market cap, this is here. Well, this is from trading view. As you can see, volume, next earnings report, 112 days, average volume, and market capitalization is 235 million, 35 million zloty. This is around about 55 million euros. So also, if you invest, for example, in a Polish gaming company, you always have to keep in mind the exchange rate between the Polish currency and the Polish currency, and for example the euro currency if you're from Euroland, or if you're from the US land and with your US dollar. So it's quite volatile. So it has quite an impact actually on your on the money you make, or on the value of your shares. In calculated in your home currency. So we're going to check out here the report from the third quarter. There is a lot of information in it. So I took this report from the third quarter and I summarized it on the basis with AI, with ChatGPT, with Grok, etc. So guys, no responsibility for my side. The numbers, the data is completely correct, but in overall, those AI models make good work actually. So, but we still have to think about the number. So first of all, we jump into the cash flow details. Operating activities, net inflows is 18.4 million euros. So I'm saying it in euros in the following slides. So represent a strong improvement from last year, 5.9 million. So obviously a new game came out. Drivers include increased sales revenues, particularly from Lords of the Fallen, and effective cost controls. Adjustments to gross profit include depreciation and amortization cost. This is depreciation amortization costs of 9 million and positive cash impact from changes in trade receivables, so 6.8 million, and payables. So now you say, what is amortization, Mr. Ernst? What you're talking? So terms explained here in CI Games financial reports. Amortization generally refers to the process of gradually expensing, writing off, the value of intangible assets over the period they are expected to generate economic benefits. For a game developer and publisher like CI Games here, those intangible assets often include things like capitalized game development cost, so the cost of creating a video game, software licenses and engine licenses, intellectual property rights. Where depreciation applies to physical and tangible assets like computers or office furniture, amortization applies to intangible ones, discounts or licenses. This accounting treatment spreads the cost of developing or acquiring such assets over their useful life rather than charging it all in one go. This way, the expense appears gradually in the financial statements to match the period in which the asset helps earn revenue. So I hope this is clear. Here. So this is the depreciation and amortization costs. So this goes over longer time if you have those costs for the development of a game. Then we have the trade receivables amounts owed to a company by its customers for goods and services that have been delivered or used but not yet paid for. In other words, they represent unpaid customer invoices or money owed by customers for sales made on credit. This is often referred to as account receivables. Here you can see positive cash impact from changes in trade receivables, 6.8 million euros, and payables, 1.8 million. So I know, guys, a lot of you are financial experts and you're watching now this video and you say, Mr. Ernst, what are you telling us? But that's the whole point. I'm not a financial advisor. So I need to also look things up and to better understand some stocks. Investing activities, net outflows are minus 10.8 million, signify ongoing investments in game development and intangible assets. Major expenditures include amortization of production costs for Lord of the Fallen and investment in future projects. Minimal cash inflows from asset disposals, 38k, well, underline the capital-intensive nature of the business. So financing activities, outflows of minus 10.6 reflect repayments of loans and convertible bonds. Decrease in borrowing obligations signals a strategic reduction in reliance on external financing. So they made a bit money, so they need less money from the outside. And for the convertible bonds, I recommend you to really go a bit deeper in the report. Analysis. So substantial improvement in operating cash flows, obviously Lords of the Fallen has been released, indicates operational efficiency and stronger demand for the company's products. However, high outflows in investment activities point to a long-term strategy that hinges on the success of future projects. So that's what gaming companies normally do. They need like up to 5 years to create a AAA game. So reduced reliance on short-term financing is a positive development, showing financial discipline and improved cash management. So that's what we like to hear as investors. debt and liabilities. So I think those are always very important metrics. Total liabilities reduced to 16.9 million from 26.4 million in December 2023. This significant decrease primarily results from repayment of multi-purpose overdraft limits and loans used to fund Lords of the Fallen. A decrease in trade liabilities from 6.9 million to 2.2 million. Current liabilities dropped from 21.1 million to 6.9 million, largely due to the repayment of convertible bonds and other short-term obligations. Non-current liabilities increased from 5.3 million to 10 million, reflecting the restructuring of debt into long-term instruments for financial stability. So that's always good. That means the company has a plan to go forward and still exist like in the next 10 years. I mean, it's a over 20-year-old company. So, and I'm sure the CEO founder wants to exist with this company. I mean, this is his project. Also with this company for the next years to come. Analysis: job reduction in short-term liabilities enhances the company's liquidity position and reduces risk. Shifting liabilities from short-term to long-term aligns with a prudent financial strategy, providing breathing room for investment in new projects, new games meaning. However, the total debt position remains substantial, which could pressure the company if new releases underperform. This is one of the biggest issues for gaming companies. So sometimes you depend a lot on one specific title. You depend a lot of this big game that you're releasing, and if this is going to be not successful, then it has an impact on your company. So let's move on. Equity details: equity growth. Total equity increased to 36.3 million from 35.1 million in December, showing modest growth. Drivers include retained earnings, 8.3 million despite high amortization costs. Shareholder returns: net profit per share remained negligible at 0 zloty for the first 3 quarters, reflecting limited immediate returns for equity holders. So you don't get any dividends here, obviously. The slight increase in equity suggests a stable financial base but lacks significant growth. The company's reliance on reinvested earnings over dividends or share buybacks may appeal to long-term growth-focused investors but could deter those seeking immediate returns. So I would say that's a decent analysis. Profitability and earnings details on net revenue. Revenue increased by 16.5%, 16 million, driven by strong sales of Lords of the Fallen, which accounted to 66% of the total revenue. One game having such an important, huge impact. Net profit: a marginal profit of 100,000 euros, contrasts sharply with a loss of 1 million euros in 2023. EBITDA: exceptional growth to 9.2 million, up from 600,000 in 23, driven by cost reductions and higher margins. Gross margin fell to 32.2%. From 53.7% due to higher amortization costs for Lords of the Fallen. Net margin improved to 0.9% from a negative margin of 7.4%. So revenue and EBITDA growth underline the commercial success of flagship titles. However, declining gross margins indicate potential challenges in cost control and pricing strategy. Maintaining profitability will require continued success in upcoming releases and better cost efficiency. So I would say that's a good analysis. Future outlook. Upcoming titles: the company's plans to develop and release new IPs and expansions with the Lords of the Fallen franchise. Diversification: subsidiary in United Label generated 5% of consolidated revenue, showing minor but growing contributions, and this company is going to be 100% under CI Games. Other subsidiaries in regions like US, UK, Spain are expected to enhance market penetration. Research and development focus: heavy investment in research and development to strengthen technological capabilities and game quality. And it's what I really like with CI Games. They shifted from quantity to quality, and from like, let's say games that look good but are actually not good games to games that look good and they also play good. A company's reliance on a single franchise, 66% of revenue from Lords of the Fallen, presents a concentration risk. While diversification efforts are evident, their financial impact remains limited. Future success depends on the ability to develop new hits and optimize IP monetization through DLCs, expansion, and sequels. Key ratios, so price to earning, cannot be directly calculated due to marginal profitability. So that's sometimes people that always look for the P, they have to keep this in mind. So forward P, anticipated improvements in profitability hinge on the success of new products. Debt to equity ratio 0.47, reflecting a manageable debt burden relative to equity. Liquidity ratios, current ratio 1.25, suggesting adequate short-term liquidity. Good, thank God, don't go bankrupt. Quick ratio 1.2, indicating solid liquidity, even excluding inventory, also very good. While the company's ratios show financial stability, the low profitability and high reliance on flagship titles limit its attractiveness. Forward valuation metrics will improve significantly if upcoming releases succeed. So updated strategy overview. So three core pillar strategy, focused product roadmap, and a player-first and efficient operating model, and finance strategy to support the roadmap. So let's jump into this. Here we go. So focused product roadmap. So what are the releases for 26 to 28? Those are now the major releases. And this is really important if you, in case you consider now investing, for example, in a company, a gaming company, you want to know what are the future games. You want to know, are they continuing to just release one game, like with CD Projekt? We have the problem, like they depend only on The Witcher and Cyberpunk. And therefore, the shares were also crashing when Cyberpunk came out, and it was not that perfect like people expected it. So, therefore, we want to know what are the major releases now for CI games. So Projekt 3, next major installment for 2026 of the Lords of the Fallen series franchise built in Unreal Engine 5. Significant investment from Epic for PC exclusivity, so it's not coming to Steam, probably then for like, I don't know, probably 2 years, 3 years, or not at all. I mean, Alan Wake is not coming at all. Expanded appeal through gameplay improvements and accessibility for existing and broader audiences. So broader audiences, what does this mean? I hope it doesn't mean the game becomes more woke. I just hope it means the game is easier to play, so it's more accessible to play. Projekt Sniper Ghost Warrior Evolved, then in 27. Next iteration in the Sniper Ghost Warrior franchise, built also on Unreal Engine 5, combining signature first-person shooter elements with survival mechanics. Accelerate development by repurposing components from Projekt Survive and Sniper Ghost Warrior Next. So, and I was a bit deep diving to find out what happened with Projekt Survive and the other Sniper Ghost Warrior, because they were mentioning it in the report at the earnings call from the semester report on 2024. So it seems they changed something. So it seems they're repurposing really those two products to integrate this then in the next Sniper Ghost Warrior title called Evolved, and giving it some survival mechanics. So sounds like a good plan. Sounds like a good plan to merge this a little bit, but it means less games. But I hope then it means also better quality games. And then we have Projekt H in 28. So you have now from 26 to 28 each year a big project. A new major action RPG IP in a commercial fantasy genre built on Unreal Engine 5. Reuses systems and architecture from Lords of the Fallen and Projekt 3. Pre-production with a lean team until late 2025, after which the Hexwork team transitions from Projekt 3. This sounds like a very interesting new IP, so I like this. Projekt H, 3 games, major releases. And then we have the United Label releases, so more the indie games, plan to publish 1 to 3 high-quality titles per year. Notable term titles include Beyond Galaxy Land, which is out now, and then next game is going to be Tales of Iron 2. Project Potential partnerships with strong external IPs to further expand the portfolio. So this is always possible that they are going to publish other indie titles. Project to expand licensing the group's own IPs to external partners in other markets, transmedia, tabletop gaming for both revenue and brand awareness. So that's also a good way forward. Players first and efficient new operating model. So market and player-centric development. They use data-driven insights to broaden appeal and improve accessibility. This is very important for AAA companies. So you put a lot of money in those titles, then you really want to see if gamers actually like the game. So embed a player-first mindset throughout the development cycle, building on lessons from Lords of the Fallen. It seems they didn't do this there, so as they are doing it now. I'm not saying if it's good or bad, but they want to change this. Reducing barriers to entry, emphasis on quality over quantity, and frictionless onboarding, difficulty options, robust controls. Yeah, I mean this, guys. Honestly, I for example, I don't just want to play difficult games. Wukong, for example, is sometimes too difficult. Elden Ring is sometimes too difficult. So it's, in my opinion, very important that companies give you difficulty options and that the controls are good. So closer, earlier collaboration with technology partners, Epic, Nvidia, AMD. So that's also important because the games have to run on all those graphics cards. So talk with Nvidia, talk with AMD. Iterative development and validation, a new gating process with major validation steps during development, regular milestones for evaluating market appeal, product bench, marking, and user experience. More open close beta testing to ensure higher user score, also very important. And also CI Games is a remote company, so they have a lot of people that work remote. I think most of them actually work remote. Creation of a development management and support office led by SVP of Development Tom O'Connor, Tencent Sony. Studio heads and QA report to Tom O'Connor, enhancing consistency and quality in production. New talent sharing model to facilitate cross-studio collaboration and reduce project fatigue. So streamlined marketing, more efficient marketing campaigns, leveraging existing brand awareness from Lords of the Fallen, future updates and free content keep IPs top of mind for players. So they continue to also bring some more updates to Lords of the Fallen, hope also some DLCs, then players remember the game. Targeted needle-moving activations rather than broad high-spend marketing. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really help when you just if you spend a lot of money for posters and stuff like this. It doesn't really help. So get the people to play the game. Finance strategy is lower cost to market, reusing existing IPs, engines, and core systems are like this element. Leaner teams, shared talent pools, and targeted marketing campaigns, secured funding streams, operating cash flows. Then recent Epic investment. So Epic is giving them substantial amount of money, most probably exclusivity deals, potential co-publishing partnerships, first-party exclusive, distribution incentives, and an existing 15 million slotty bank facility with plans to increase debt to finance future projects. So we cannot completely put the loans to the side. So obviously we still need to go to banks and get money there. The group is pivoting toward higher efficiency development cycles, leveraging existing IP and technology, and focusing on systematic testing and feedback to produce major releases annually from 2026 onward. By refining organizational structure, sharing talent across studios, and employing more focused marketing strategies, the group aims to create accessible, high-quality games with strong commercial appeal. Financing for these initiatives will come from diversified sources, including operating revenues, partner investments, and expanded credit facilities. So most important key events in the first 3 quarters of 2024. 2024 and up to date of this report. So now we look a bit at the strategy. The plan to issue new shares, that did not happen. So Xbox Game Pass agreement with Microsoft. So this is now the 2024, everything that happened there and was important in this time. Updates for Lords of the Fallen, Epic Games distribution deal for Lords of the Fallen sequel, and acquisition of United Label that I already mentioned. So plan to issue new shares. Ultimately, this has been abandoned, and I like this because otherwise I would probably be diluted with my shares that I have. So yeah, basically what happened there, extraordinary meeting resolved to increase the company's share capital by issuing up to 36 million more ordinary bearer shares. Then the management board suspended implementation of this resolution, eventually extending it without a set date. The management board finally decided not to proceed with the issuance, and then reason for cancellation after signing a binding agreement with Epic Games. So you see how it all, yeah, that's important also for gamers sometimes to understand how those how publishing of games works. With Epic Games, the company concluded it had secured enough funding for its upcoming projects, including the next Lord of the Fallen title, without needing to issue additional shares. The company also plans to use debt financing alongside Epic's funding, so we don't need new shares. We are fine with the Epic deal and also getting more loans. Then we have the Xbox Game Pass agreement with Microsoft. Of course, that's also a big one. CI Games signed an agreement with Microsoft to include 2 key titles, Lords of the Fallen, the new one, and Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts in the Game Pass program in 2024. So this happened already. Then Lords of the Fallen got a lot of updates up to the version 1.5, incorporating 30 post-launch improvements, so that's a bit too much most probably. Introduction of the Master of Fate update, allowing advanced game modifier systems for customizable difficulty. The update was well received, achieving high engagement on Twitch and generating extensive media coverage. So the question is, are more people buying this game now? I just bought the game, for example. Epic Games deal for the sequel. So CI Games signed then the binding term sheet with Epic Games for exclusive global PC distribution. So it comes also to consoles, but for PC, not on Steam, just through Epic Games. Granting Epic Games the distribution rights for the product's entire life cycle. So if they wouldn't have this exclusivity deal with Epic Games, then they would need to issue maybe more shares, take a bigger loan. So financially, this is a problem otherwise. So I'm personally a Steam player, so I'm not so happy when games are coming Epic exclusive. I don't like that Epic makes those exclusive deals, but they have a lot of cash flow from Fortnite probably. So therefore, Epic Games has the money to support some of those games. So this means for me, I will most probably play this game a little bit later. Acquisition of United Label. CI Games increased its stake in United Label 95% by purchasing additional shares. Voila, so they take it private. So what is the fair value? So I'm not a financial advisor, first of all, very important. So, and I was just analyzing here with Croc. I was Croc asking on the basis of all the information, the different reports. I was putting all the reports there, saying, okay, now analyze all the numbers. Now tell me what is the fair value? And then we were looking here on a price to book PB ratio, and we were coming to a fair value of 1.272 Polish zloty. We are now at 1.26 Polish zloty. It means we are even under fair value. But here using the PE ratio, which is a bit difficult, as we know, since we don't have this so correctly, estimated fair value would be 11 Polish zlotys. That's weird. Something doesn't add up here. So given the volatility and growth potential in the gaming sector, along with the company's financial health and strategic direction, the PB ratio, so the price to book ratio, might give a more conservative but realistic view, considering the book value reflects the asset base. However, these figures should be taken as rough estimates. Fair stock price estimate around 1.27 Polish zloty per share, considering both the PB ratio and the potential for growth not captured by current earnings alone. Remember, this is a very simplified analysis and should be supplemented with industry comparison, growth forecasts, and more in-depth financial modeling for a precise valuation. So, I mean, the big companies, the big funds, they use all AI to find out what companies are worth. So, if I'm doing this now here, it's not less good. And it always depends, of course, from your AI and how on your capacity to also to control this and make the calculations yourself. But as I said, I'm a gamer turning investor, so this is for information purposes here, and I think this is always a good direction if you have those numbers and that you can let also the AI do its magic. Yeah, disclaimer, guys. So here again, read this and then like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And as I said, I am invested already in CI Games, so it's a gaming company. I kind of like it, and I'm thinking about to buy some more. But it's not clear for me yet when I will buy more. But I think it's a gaming company if they really are able to continue on the same path that they are right now. So I see it for like a 10-year investment. So obviously, I'm not buying the stock now for just buying it now for 1 year, 6 months though. So for me, this is a very long-term investment, and then I see some potential in the gaming company. So, but I'm already invested. So for me, the question is now: do I want to invest more, or do I even want to sell some shares if I'm not so convinced anymore? But this is for me a decision I have to make for myself, and you of course have to make your own decision when it comes to investment. So guys, write me in the commentary section and like this video, please, and share this video if you like this approach, where these long deep dive videos where I really also go into substance and not just looking at the charts. Sometimes people in the past were telling me, so, oh, Mr. Orange, you just look on make a technical analysis and you look at the charts. This means nothing. So guys, you're right. So you have to look much more when you look at companies, but also of course this takes much more preparation. But I like to level up my videos. I want to make them more substantial, and then also not uploading actually so regularly. So therefore I need you to watch those videos also till the end. They're quite long, but if you watch them till the end, this helps me a lot. And also recommend those videos to friends and family, and mostly to other gamers that like investing, so that they can also learn. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.